Yo, y'all see how like millions of kids on Reddit invested in GameStop stock and made it go up like 3,000% in 2 weeks, and then all the hedge fund manager fucks that are like the stock gurus lost millions? It is so funny. Then these 75-year-old boomer stock gurus are going on the news and they're like, these gamers think they can control the market. They can't. I've been doing stocks since I was out of the womb. And I'm like, okay, buddy, you're just upset because you lost fucking $50 million because of a bunch of kids on Reddit. It is just so funny that a bunch of Gen Z kids, when half of them don't even know how the stock market works, we're just like, yeah, we like GameStop, right? And everybody's like, yeah. Do you guys want to invest all your money in it? And they're like, yeah! And then it just fucking skyrockets and everyone else just gets fucked over. I kind of feel bad for the boomers that got fucked over though, because like they spent their whole life doing stocks, and then just a bunch of kids from Reddit fucked some of them over completely.
Another day of using my vast resources to manipulate the market and enrich myself and a small group of people around me. Yo, a bunch of people online just realized if they buy a bunch of stock that hedge funds are shorting, they can actually force the hedge fund's position and take a bunch of their money. Isn't that cool? What are you doing? I mean, I'm about to buy a bunch of GameStop stock. You can't do that. Okay, there are rules about these things. You can't just do whatever you want. I mean, it's just a group of people getting together to buy a stock. It's actually not so different from what you do. It's just normal people doing it, not super rich people. But you should probably like get your financial affairs in order, because I think you're gonna owe like billions of dollars. I just put a down payment on a yacht. Ooh, might want to get a real job then.
No one gives a fuck about you. You are not protected. If there's anything that you can learn from this story, it is that when hedge funds fucking manipulate stock prices by literally over-shorting and pushing companies into a state of fucking disarray, that's not considered market manipulation. But when you get together and engage in a collective action of liking a stonk and taking it up to the fucking moon and holding it there for as long as it takes for these motherfuckers to get robbed dry, well, then that's actually manipulation, and that's no good. And the only principle there is the exact same principle that we have seen time and time again. It's the same exact principle when Mitch McConnell says, well, I'm sorry, we can't give you $2,000 because, one poor person getting $2,000 might mean that the economy is completely falling apart. They will die. These motherfuckers will die before they give you a fucking breadcrumb, okay? They will die before they...
So people keep asking me to weigh in on this, so I will. In this video, J.S. basically defends the kill-all men narrative, saying that men should be less worried about being grouped in with bad men, and we should be more worried about women's issues. But there's quite a few problems to this. First and foremost, if your goal is to actually educate young men on women's issues, they're not going to listen to you when you demonize them. Secondly, when people say kill all men and men get upset about it, and then you responding with, well, we're just talking about the bad ones, has the same energy as racist people saying all black people are violent, and then when confronted about it, just saying, well, I just mean the bad ones. Lastly, you talked about bringing awareness to problems and solutions, though you didn't really seem to provide any solutions. However, there is a rather big problem when it comes to interactions between people, usually men to women, but not always, and that is individuals being sexually aggressive or crossing boundaries. For instance, kissing somebody without their consent, and when they get called out, they go, oh, it was just a joke, and they play it off. That would literally be something that's part of rape culture.
Here's my hot take on George Orwell's 1984. It should not be taught to high school students. This is because you need to know about 3 major economic theories, and high school students don't. 1, capitalism, where the means of production are privatized. 2, socialism, where the means of production are in the hands of the workers. Number 3, communism, a moneyless, stateless, classless society. Now that you know all 3, you have to understand that George Orwell was a democratic socialist. He understood the faults of capitalism and said, this is the world that you will live in if this does not stop. High school students just aren't ready to understand that. Even myself as a future English teacher didn't understand this until 26 years of age. Let me know if you want me to make this a series, and thank you for your time.
Here's a half-baked idea. So we all know, or at least we should know, that your care for oppressed people should always outweigh your hatred for the oppressors. Like, what's the point of hating Nazis if you don't care for the well-being of Jewish and Romani people? Why do you hate TERFs if you don't care for the well-being of trans people? Why do you hate Republicans if you don't care about the well-being of Black, Latino, Indigenous, and LGBTQ+ people? I think it's because hate is easily performative. For a lot of subcultures, yes, that includes punk rock, it is the easiest thing in the world to show that you're against something. And it takes actual effort to show that you support something. From my own experiences here, it's easy to slap anti-Nazi symbolism on your battle jacket or on your venue's walls, but it takes effort to make Jewish people and Romas like myself feel safe around you. Keep hating the oppressors because they're scum, but don't forget to care about the people that they're oppressing. Their safety is more important than your hate.
I'm going to illustrate what's going on, and I hope you get it because I've only got 60 seconds. So you've got right politics, you've got centre, you've got left politics. You've got the far left over here, demonstrated by this coaster, which holds space for things. The far right, which is a lighter, which lights gas. Here we go. Hey guys, can we get some human rights? No, that's extreme. Oh no, I don't want extreme. I'm gonna move over here. Suckers. No, but guys, we just want human rights. We just want to have some social health care for everyone and stuff. That'd be great if everyone could be. No, that's extreme. That's extreme. Oh my god, I don't want extreme. Oh no, I don't like extreme. Oh no. But guys, come on. Look, you don't understand. We can have a wonderful life for everyone. No one should be below the breadline. Come on. Shut up. That's extremist. You're extreme. Oh no, I don't want extreme. Oh my god. I hope this illustrates exactly what's taking place here. But like I said, what you've experienced is this in action. So now regular normal-ass people think that it's perfectly fine to consider human rights activists extreme.
A city's a lot cheaper to run than the suburbs, so why is New York City so expensive? Well, it's because of areas like this. I'm in Nolita, and this is a good reason for why New York City is expensive. In Lower Manhattan and in Midtown Manhattan, we have really tall buildings. But in the Village, in Soho, in Tribeca, and in Nolita here, the buildings are short. Why is that? It's because the rich residents have a lot of political power, and they've used historical zoning to block all new development as a way to block out affordable housing and to keep out low-income residents from coming into these areas. That maximizes the rents that these owners can collect and the value of their... We could have skyscrapers in these areas, and it would mean that rents would be a lot lower in Queens and in Brooklyn and in Staten Island and the Bronx. But we block dense housing on purpose to maximize rents paid to owners.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. We ready for today's meeting? Thanks for breakfast, Mom. Don't laugh, she's funding this whole thing. Y'all, I just got off the phone with a venture capital firm. All right, VC number 2 didn't want to take it, but we're on to VC number 3 tomorrow. Okay, VC number 27, not a taker. VC 146. Guys, we did it. I don't have to wear these. We can have an office now. Huh? We got pants money now. All right, some newbies on the team today. We have a defined market. I think we're gonna be fine. I have no idea if we're gonna be fine. Scale. Late stage VC. Late stage VC money. I started doing that CEO thing where I get up at 4 a.m. every morning. I'm gonna say it. I think we're going public. IPO. Boom! We need some more money to go public. That's fine. Sorry I'm late. Just got back from a little place called the New York Stock Exchange. It's my money day. Seriously though, everybody tell your family to buy shares of our company.
Just a reminder, the reason that Americans are obsessed with a college experience is because they are never again going to experience that kind of communal living and access to mutual aid unless they leave the country. What makes the American college experience so unique as opposed to other countries is because we are immediately forced into being complete and total individuals after our experience is over, and we lose all sense of communal living as well as the access to mutual aid and services that we had while we were in college that were reasonably priced for the most part, as well as the fact that most college communities are walking communities. In America, it is pretty rare that freshmen can actually have college or can bring their cars with them to campus if they're staying there. So there's a really big disconnect between how the college world works versus how the real world works in terms of mutual aid and communication and communal living, and that's why so many people miss it, is because that is the only time that we ever truly act as a village.
There are many good colors, and I worked with some of them, and I liked them, and I like this person that I said works at the lounge over there. But there's the ones that are going to march I don't like and I can't stand, I got no use for.
And when your church tells you human rights and you pay no attention to your church?
I pay attention to my church when they say about human rights. But what the marchers want, they don't want rights. They say they want peaceful coexistence. How can they have peaceful coexistence when there's all this trouble?
Who makes the trouble?
They do, by marching. There's got to be a simpler way.
What simpler way can you think of?
Can we talk about how Trump supporters said Trump wasn't racist just because the black unemployment rates were going down? Like, that was their metric for racism. That wasn't even his doing. It was because of Obama's plan. And he just, like, What?
As someone coming from poverty, what's your #1 tip to save money?
Hi, I'm Becca. I used to be homeless and now I am financially secure. I'm not rich, but I'm financially secure. So I know a little bit about this subject, and it's a hard subject to fit into a 60-second TikTok. So there's 2 major points that I want to convey. Number 1, deprivation economics don't work. People are going to tell you to cut out lattes, cut out avocado toast, cut out, I don't know, whatever they make up today to be the enemy. But none of that's going to work. That's not the reason you're in poverty. It's capitalism. Number 2, you are surviving, and it's really, really hard. I used to live in Denver in a 1-bedroom apartment. I was making 20 grand a year. I was barely getting by, but I was getting by and all my bills were paid. And once I realized that, I realized like all I have to do is make a little bit more than this. And that was actually pretty easy. In my position, it might be more difficult for you, but I found a way to make a little extra money, and that was my savings money. And it was also my latte and avocado toast money, because you can't just deprive yourself because you're poor.
Are we going through a food shortage? Like, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I'm just trying to like think like where.
Hey, last time I duetted you, and this time I'm gonna stitch you because I did a little digging, and I found out that the FDA has actually made it legal, perfectly legal, for these companies to substitute ingredients in their products and not change the food labels on them. So this is what we're tasting. This is what's going on. There's a lot more going on with the food supply. You guys need to start paying attention. Like, everybody needs to start paying attention, because the food system works as a web, and when one part breaks, all of the other parts are affected. We are importing meats from countries that we really didn't import from before. And like you're saying, you're seeing a lot of these new products coming in. They're coming from places that we didn't really get food before. And I'm sorry, guys, pay attention to the food supply.
Here's what they don't teach you in school about Argentina. I would love to be able to say that schools teach kids that racism isn't just a national issue within our country, but it's also a global issue, but they don't. So let me tell you about Argentina. So Argentina is considered one of the whitest countries in South America, which is weird considering, like many other countries, they were colonized and subjected by the Spanish colonists who were shipping over people who were enslaved in Africa from the west coast of Africa. 97% of their population is European, which is also disturbing because in the late 1700s, 50% of their population was black. Where did they go? It basically was like an undercover genocide. They heavily segregated the black community from the Europeans. This also included not giving them health care, which was basically a death sentence back then because of cholera, yellow fever, etc. They also forcibly recruited Afro-Argentines into the military. In the Paraguayan War of 1864, Argentina knew that they would lose, so they sent thousands of Afro-Argentine men to their deaths. The gender balance was so bad that the Afro-Argentine women had to have children with white men or mixed Argentinian men.
Hi, I'm a political science and law major, and if you don't know anything about political science, a lot of what we do involves collecting and researching data, and when done correctly, it is unbiased, so don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm in a class called The Sociology of the Protest right now, and you can imagine the kind of people that take this class are generally people that are involved in social movements and protests, right? Yeah, so when you come in with your fuck shit bastard statistics, you look really fucking stupid. You just do. It's the wrong crowd. Everyone knows that you can make a statistic say whatever you want if you have a bad sample. So you look dumb when you come into class and you're like, honestly, I just don't support the Black Lives Matter movement because over half the people that are killed by cops every year are white. Yes. We know that. We know that. 72% of the population is white, so that's not surprising. The part that we're mad about is that only 13% of the population is black, but that other half of people that are getting killed by cops are also black. Take those numbers, put them together. It's super disproportionate. You're almost there. One step further, baby. You're almost there. And when you're in class and you're like, black on black crime, what? Fuck you for black on black crime, but you're like, 81% of black homicide is done by other black people. Yes, this is true in every race. Let's look at the proximity theory. Let's look at white flight. Let's look at demographic maps of population and income. This is not new. This is not revolutionary. You're not saying shit.
I'm a little concerned by how many people are getting into investing but are actually falling for ripoffs. Day trading individual stocks on Robinhood is not investing, it's gambling. But Robinhood wants you to invest that way because gambling is fun and addictive. They're not trying to help you save for retirement, they want to keep you hooked on their app. Then there's the trust fund bros who say you can get rich by buying a house and turning it into an Airbnb, which is not only gentrifying bullshit, it's incredibly risky and you have to already be rich to do it. Real investing isn't fun, it isn't cool, it's boring as fuck, and I'm gonna show you how. First, open a Vanguard account. Vanguard is owned by their customers, so their fees are super low. You want that account to be a Roth IRA, because that means you don't pay taxes on your earnings, so you're automatically up like 20 or 30%. And put your money in one of their target retirement funds. These invest in the entire stock market, so they're very safe, but still earn a return. Put a little money in every year if you can, and then never look at it or even think about it again until you retire. or until America builds a social safety net system that means we don't need to become investment experts just to avoid dying of starvation in old age. Whichever comes first.
Look, I don't know about you, but me personally, I am so fucking sick of the hypocrisy that we see from white America on the daily. And let's just give one glaring fucking example. These last few months have showed me that you motherfuckers don't actually give a shit about terrorism, alright? Rewind back 2 decades ago in the aftermath of 9/11. When Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda launched their terrorism against America, attacking the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, trying to make a move on the White House, and 3,000 plus Americans died, what do? We fucking united as a country, both left and right. Democrats, independents, and Republicans came together. George Bush experienced 90% approval rating from independents and Democrats, and the country came together to go drop bombs on Africa and the Middle East in the name of waging a war on terror. What happened in the aftermath of the January 6th domestic terrorism attack against our election? Oh, wait, the one that was incited by an outgoing president. Well, only 43% of Republicans denounced that shit, okay? That's not fucking unity, alright? And the reality is, white America, you guys don't fucking care about violence against this country, because that shit doesn't fucking hit as hard to you guys when they look like you, alright? That is blatant racism and blatant white supremacy. Like, follow, comment, share, mute the media, and fuck Donald Trump.
I see a lot of these productivity porn videos on TikTok. They're all about optimization of habits. The basic idea of these videos is that the more optimized our lives are, the happier we become. And I think there's a lot of truth to that, but I don't think that's the entire truth. Because too much optimization eliminates opportunities for joy, which I think is different from happiness. Happiness is how good we feel over time, whereas joy is how good we feel in a certain finite moment. We've culturally become so obsessed with being able to control every moment of our lives that we've eliminated space for joyful moments of spontaneity and serendipity. And technology is one of the driving forces behind optimization. Like when we drive, instead of listening to the radio, we can plug in our phones or connect to Bluetooth and choose exactly what we want to listen to. And since I've started to realize the perils of too much optimization in my life, I've actually started listening to the radio again, because I've realized such a simple moment of joy for me is when a good song comes on while I'm driving. And of course, I could connect my phone and play that exact song, but there's something so joyful about it coming on by chance. Those small moments of joy over time add up.
Today, a video went viral on Twitter. And it's a black man was repairing his...
I need to apologize for cutting you off. Please click the app below so you can see the full video, but I need to show you what they're talking about.
I want everybody to see this. This is not propaganda at all. This chair right here is 200 years old. This 200-year-old chair came from somewhere in North Georgia. Now, we are restoring this chair. The full seat, the full interior of the seat is human hair. It's human, not horse, not cow like they usually do, pig hair, horse hair. No, this is actual human hair, slave hair. Imagine how many slaves it took to fill this chair with human hair. But this came from a very, very wealthy people in North Georgia. They're keeping